and later. Okay, so maybe let's start once again. So hello everyone, welcome to the first Quantum Games Hackathon organized by the QuantumAYA Foundation and Poland. My name is Paweł Gora. I'm a founder and CEO of the QuantumAYA Foundation. And together with Ola Lipinska from Poland, we'll give this introductory lecture to the hackathon just to give you more details and introduce you to the most important concepts and rules. And at the end, there will be a Q&A session, so you'll have the opportunity to ask some questions. So maybe first of all, I would like to introduce the QuantumAYA Foundation, which is a formal organizer of this hackathon. So we are a charity organization aiming to support education, research, development, and collaboration in science and new technologies, especially AI and quantum computing, but also other fields of mathematics and computer science. The foundation achieves its goals by organizing meetings like meetups of the Warsaw Quantum Computing Group, workshops, contests, and hackathons like this one, and other events focusing on education and enhancing research and collaboration in new technologies like AI and quantum computing. You can find more information on our website. This hackathon is organized with several partners. So we have 5 strategic partners who generously provided donations to fund the awards, the prizes for the best teams. We also have several honorary partners who help us advertise this event in social media and other channels. And now I will give a voice to Ola, who will tell you why we decided to organize this hackathon and to focus on quantum games specifically.
I will, okay. Hello, everyone. I will shortly introduce myself. My name is Aleksandra Lipinska. I'm a computational mathematics student from Poland and an avid quantum computing enthusiast. And I am a co-organizer of this hackathon. Why did we come up with the Quantum Games Hackathon? As you probably know, the field of quantum computing and other quantum technologies is very rapidly developing. And also, of course, game development also has seen development in the recent years. So we thought that like joining them together would bring out more innovation. And well, the field of quantum games per se is also developing, but there aren't many games like this. And we think that by joining those two things together, we can bring out more innovation. And by being part of this hackathon, you will be also part of the second quantum revolution.
Right, thank you, Ola. Now, maybe some key features of our hackathon. So what do we require? You can participate in this hackathon in teams. Teams can be formed of by up to 5 people, but you can also participate individually. The solutions that you'll have to submit at the end by 3rd of October should be computer games related to quantum mechanics and quantum computing. As you will later see in the judging criteria, the more relation to quantum mechanics and quantum computing and the proper use of quantum computing may be an advantage. And of course, it should be computer games, right? So there should be this gameability feature as well. So we count on your creativity, and we believe that you'll be able to just come up with very interesting solutions and then develop fantastic software and projects. At the end, so by 3rd of October, you should submit your solution. It should be a link to a repository, preferably GitHub repository. Your project should be an open source, so we prefer the MIT license. And of course, we require you to abide the regulations and our code of conduct that you have already agreed on, and you can also find on our channels on Discord. And of course, we hope that you will have a good fun. and Ola tell you what do we provide.
Well, first of all, as you've probably noticed, this is a worldwide fully remote event. We're very happy to welcome people from many countries around the world. It will be fully remote. No event will take place in place. We have support for up to 100 participants. It has mainly to do with the Zoom capacity of holding 100 people. We have communication through Discord and Zoom. I will later on during this presentation tell you more about our Discord channels. And the events, especially during today and tomorrow, will be conducted via Zoom. And those talks will be about quantum game development. Some will focus more on quantum computing and others more about game development. But if you lack in any of those fields, we believe that you will be able to learn some valuable tools that you can use later on during developing of your software. And we provide the support from experts and mentors in both fields of quantum computing and game development. So if you struggle with something, you can let us know, and we hopefully will be able to help you solve the problem that you have.
Okay, great, thank you, Ola. Maybe one more thing that we provide that is maybe also important is that there will be also cash prizes for the best teams. We will give awards to the 3 best solutions, and it is likely that there will be also a special award provided by Quantum Flytrap for the best game developed in JavaScript. So it's almost confirmed. That's why you can find the information about it on the website. So there are just still some small things to complete before we can confirm it finally. All right, I can see that probably there is, yeah, there was a question about PLN. PLN is a currency, it's a Polish zloty, indeed. So this is the agenda of the hackathon. So as you can see, this hackathon is just scheduled for more than 1 week. So we start today. So now we have this kickoff lecture. Very soon we'll start the matchmaking event, that will be just led by Ola, by Alexandra. And later today, there will be 3 lectures. The first lecture will be given at 2 p.m. by Piotr Biskupski from IBM, and he will tell about entangling your fun with Qiskit, games worked in IBM Q. Later, Piotr Gawron will give a talk, yet another invitation to quantum game theory. Then there will be a break, and again, there will be a matchmaking event, but you can also already start working on your projects if you have some specific ideas. And then there will be finally a lecture or workshop given by Piotr Migdał from Quantum Flytrap about creating quantum games in JavaScript. For tomorrow, we also have several lectures in plans. So the first lecture will be also given at noon, at 12. Again, and it will be given by Artur Roszczyk. He will tell about accessibility in games. So Artur has a good experience in game development, not necessarily in quantum computing, but he can tell more about gameability, so how to make your games more playable. There was a question, will these lectures be available in case we miss them? Yes, so most of the lectures will be available. In some cases, unfortunately, we don't have the agreement from the speakers to record the lecture, but in most cases, we will be able to just record these lectures and make them later available on our YouTube channel, and we'll also post a link on our Discord after the lecture is available. All right, so the next lectures on Sunday, linear algebra is actually a fun video game given by Laur from Quantum Odyssey. Then at 5 p.m, designing interfaces for quantum experiences. Then mapping the landscape of quantum games. And for the next days, you can work on your projects in your teams. So contrary to many other hackathons, this hackathon is planned for more than one weekend, because usually on hackathons, you can develop your projects for 2 or 3 days, from Saturday or Friday until Sunday. But this time we decided to give more time, because quantum computing is a difficult topic per se. And we know that many of you have good experience in software development, in programming, but not necessarily in quantum computing. So it is possible that you will have to just learn some new things, new concepts during the hackathon. So take your time, but eventually on the last day, on Sunday, you should submit your solution. So later we'll share a form to submit your solution. The deadline is 12 Polish time, UTC +2 again. And then our jury will evaluate your solutions. So in the submitting solutions, in the link that you'll provide in the submission form, the link should lead to a GitHub repository with your code that should be an open source, and there should be an open source license specified. But also there should be a video recording presenting your project. So you'll find the details in the regulations, and we'll also later post the details on our Discord. So this video recording should be of up to 5 minutes, as far as I remember. Could I tell in advance what lectures will be recorded? Okay, so as far as I remember, but I will later try to confirm it, all the lectures, so the only lecture that will not be recorded is the lecture given by Piotr Biskupski from IBM. So it will be at 2 p.m. today. So this lecture at 2 p.m. Will not be recorded for sure. As for the other lectures, I think that we have all the required consents, but I will later double check it and let you know, and write it also on our Discord. Currently we plan that the announcement of winners will be on the last day, on the 3rd of October at 8 p.m. Most likely we'll also organize a similar Zoom session so that you can attend and you can just hear the announcement of winners. So the details regarding processing the prizes are in the regulations on which you have already agreed on. Now Ola can tell more about the matchmaking events.
Yes, so in about 45 minutes, we will start with a matchmaking event. Its goal is to let people that don't have teams yet team up and find people that will match their skills or match what they're lacking in skills. What we will use to do it is Zoom breakout rooms. So you will be in Zoom, and there will be about 10 rooms with 10 people each, probably less, because I think some people already have teams. So there will be 10 meetings. Each will last 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I will announce that the time has passed, and each of you will have a chance to change the room to another that you have not been in, or stay in the same room if you found people in it interesting and wanted to talk with them more. So the goal of it is to get to know other participants. Honestly, even if you are not looking for a match, you might just come and introduce yourself and talk with people. I think it might be interesting. But of course, the goal is to find someone you can team up with and to create the hackathon project. So there are no rules, but there are guidelines of what you can do. For example, it would be nice to introduce yourself and tell what experience and skills you have, so that other participants know, like if they know what they are looking for, they will know if you are a good match or not. Yeah, and basically that's it. I will. say those rules again in case someone has not attended this meeting, but I hope we'll have good fun.
Right, thanks, Ola. So there was a question sent to me as a direct message. A video and submission should be one per team. What should be the video? What should the video consist of? Yes, the submission should be just one per team, so only one person from a team should submit the solution. We'll soon share with you a link to the submission form, so you will see what information are required. So in the submission form, one person from a team should also mention all the names of all team members, right, as well as the name of the team. And in the submission, you should provide just a single link to a GitHub repository. So maybe we'll also later send more information on our Discord, but it's also in our regulations. And in this GitHub repository, there should be your code, so you can just structurize it as you like. Of course, there should be also a license, and there should be also a video recording. And the video recording should just describe your project, your game. And it's up to you how you will prepare this video recording, but you should be aware that most likely this video will be the base for the judgment for jury. So of course the jury will also try to check your code in the GitHub repository, but since there are so many participants, it is likely that the jury will not be able to just check everything in your code, right? Because sometimes in some cases, your code may have hundreds or even thousands lines, right? So it will not be possible to just verify everything. So that's why we also require you to prepare the videos presenting your projects. And the videos should cover all the aspects that will be necessary to just correctly evaluate your submission, right? So these are the judging criteria. Correctness, so are the assumptions and usage of quantum mechanics and quantum computing appropriate? Does your game really use quantum mechanics and quantum computing, and is it used in a proper way, right? So this is the criteria. So this is why I said that the more quantum mechanics and quantum computing is involved in your game, the more the game is related to quantum mechanics, the more points you can get in this criteria. Playability, is it entertaining? Is it really a game, right? So does it have an educational potential? Because we believe that most of the games that will be developed should also have some educational potential. Is the user interface inviting, right? So what's the playability? So it should be really computer games. It shouldn't be just quantum programs, let's say, doing some computations. It should be really games with some user interface, letting the users to play, to test it, and also to learn more about, let's say, quantum computing or quantum mechanics, preferably, but not necessarily, right? So this educational potential is something that is nice to have, but it's not mandatory. Originality, so how creative and innovative is the idea? So later today, there will be some lectures about some other existing quantum games today and also tomorrow. So you will have opportunity to learn about some other existing quantum games, right? So then you will know what are the ideas of other people, and of course, we expect that you will create something new, something innovative. And that's why we count on your creativity. Quality and completeness. Is this game polished and ready to play? Is the mechanics well introduced? So is this game completed and is ready to play? We give you more than 1 week to work on your projects, and also you can work on this project in teams. So it seems to be a sufficient time to prepare at least a prototype of a computer game. Yes, so this is also one of the criteria. And when you prepare the video recording that should have up to 5 minutes, you should present your solution and present your game in such a way that all these criteria will be somehow visible, right? So that the judges will be able to evaluate that, okay, this is really a computer game and it's already completed. There is a very nice interface and I can already play this game. Oh, and there is already some quantum computing involved, right? And I can see that this idea is innovative, that there are some differences comparing to maybe some other similar computer games, right? There is a question about the minimum and maximum number of people in a particular team. Yes, the minimum is 1, the maximum is 5. Exactly, so there should be up to 5 people. So it was information, one of our first slides. And now I'll tell you more about Discord.
When you get into Discord, I shared the link in the Zoom session here. You will see those channels on the left, and they're important to be able to know what they mean. Each of those channels at the top will have a description of what it is, but I will tell you right now so that you don't have to read it all. First of all, start here, general. You can post some general questions here possibly, and like when anybody shows up, there will be a message there. Code of conduct is an important channel in which you will find our code of conduct, which you are bound to abide by. So I advise you to read it. I think it's really good and fair. So yeah, I think it's useful to read it. Next, it's introduce yourself. Some people already introduced themselves. It's very nice. It's nice to know what people we're working with, because even though you will work in teams in private most of the time, remember that like other people are also working, and there is this huge community of very talented people here. So if you can meet them and talk, I think it's very useful. Suggestions. This is the first time we are conducting this hackathon, so we welcome our suggestions for what we can do better. And this is the channel to post them, basically. Regulations, very important channel in which there is a link pinned in a pinned message to our regulations, by which you are also bound to abide by. And all there, you will probably find everything you need in there. That's what we designed them for. And they are also, you know, these are the laws that govern this hackathon, basically. So it's very useful to read them. Troubleshooting, if you write to a mentor and want to have a discussion or solve your problem and you need to share your screen, or you want to talk in person and not in chat, you can go into this channel. Underneath, there is a program in which you will see the schedule, the agenda that was shared before. We have a quantum bot which should share in the next channel in the announcements when anything is starting, so that you will be reminded when an interesting lecture starts. And please follow this channel. It's very important. If we have some important announcements, we will put them there. So it's useful not to mute this channel, I would say. And the second part, first of all, is team forming. Again, if you don't have a team, there are two channels. One is a text channel, the second is a voice channel of Find a Team. You can, it's a bit different than introduce yourself. You're basically advertising yourself, what your skills are, what you're looking for in a teammate. If you want to talk, you can do it. It's basically an asynchronous way of what we're doing with matchmaking. And the other channel that is under the team forming is extremely important. if you have a team, if you already formed a team, you need to put the names of the teammates and their nicks in Discord and the name of the team in there. Some people already did that, and it's very important because otherwise your team basically will not be recognized. And we will also create a private channel for you, one voice channel, one text channel, so that you can text and work in there. You can also work somewhere else if you want, but this is what we will provide to you. And also, like, we can invite a mentor if you have a problem into your channel. So I think this would be this is a good solution for you. And there is another category in which you can post random comments. Basically, whatever you want that abides by code of conduct and regulations. Useful sources, if you find something interesting about game development or quantum computing or other quantum technologies, you can also post it there. And post your memes. I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. If you have memes, preferably, again, about quantum computing or game development, post them there. We are also here to have fun. And underneath, you can see the category of team channels. After you log in your team in the login teams channel, you will see a private channel for you and your teammates under there. So that is basically our Discord. If you have any questions about it or problems, like with permissions or such, you can write to me in a direct message. I will fix it. I think that's all about Discord.
Okay. Great, thank you, Ola. And I think that's also all from our side regarding the introduction. So now it's time for questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. So of course you can later ask questions on our Discord, and our mentors will try to answer. But now is also the opportunity to ask a question on Zoom. So maybe it will be easier for you. All right, I don't see questions now, so maybe everything is clear. So in that case, Ola, I think that maybe we can just stop the introduction, and the matchmaking session should start at 1 p.m. So now we can just do a break for 30 minutes, and then we'll do this matchmaking session. And in the meanwhile, okay, there's one question. How do you have any suggestions for doing the matchmaking?
Introduce yourself, and maybe in this half an hour that we have, think about what you want from your teammates. If you lack something, like for example, if I was looking for a team, I would say that I am more skilled in quantum computing, but less skilled in game development. So preferably, if I found someone that would be more skilled in that part, we would make a good team, right? So you can see, first of all, introduce yourself, who you are. An important part might be your time zone. So if you're on the other side of the world, it might work, but it might be kind of hard to find time to talk together. Well, who you are, what your skills are, and what skills you are lacking or looking for in a teammate. And maybe think about whether you want a bigger team or a smaller team. I would say those are my suggestions.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you, Ola. Are there any more questions?
I think we might stop the recording and
yes.